This is the Ostrich Inn in Slough. It's extremely old and it has a pretty grisly history of a landlord who disposed of his wealthier guests in quite a gruesome manner. Sounds like a scene from Sweeney Todd and a place that certainly should be haunted. The Ostrich is one of the oldest inns in England, dating back to 1500. But like much of Greater London, the modern world has grown up around it, and it now finds itself just half a mile from the end of Heathrow Airport's main runway. That certainly makes it a bit noisy, but no less packed with grisly history. Its most infamous landlords back in medieval times were a fellow called Jarman and his wife, who was said to have murdered no less than 60 guests as they slept in their beds.
At that time there is no bank, so everyone got keep their belongings with them, horses plus all the money. And when there is a traveller who used to come on his own without any families or relatives, there is a special room dedicated for him. And overnight, while he was asleep, he used to visit that room and to take all the belongings of this person. And basically he managed to kill them by a very strange and very, I would say, clever system, which is in a bed who could flip over underneath a trap and was on the first floor. And the trap was opening to a boiling vase of water. And he boiled 67 people or 60 people like that.
Now this model depicts Jarman's evil crimes. This is the bedroom that he would put his unsuspecting wealthy guests in. They'd be fast asleep in the bed. In the middle of the night, the bed would tip. The trapdoor would open and the guest would slide into a vat of boiling water, resulting in a silent, quick, but very nasty death. But it's not just the grisly goings-on of the Jarmans that haunt this place. The inn was situated on the popular London to Bath Road and found itself a favourite hangout of highwaymen and robbers. The manager, Philippe, agreed to show me some of the other places where ghosts have been seen.
As we go up, let me introduce you to our two main haunted area. Which first one is the stairs, Victorian ones, where is the residence of Mary, who basically is being recognized. She spent her time, most of the time, sitting and kind of checking the people going upstairs and visiting the rooms.
Now Mary was Jarman's wife.
Yes, that's right.
And she was also hung.
That's right. She was hung with her husband, but funnily, she only stays here. There is some experience with the customers in the ladies' toilet, usually the ladies, with the toilet rolls, with face behind the mirror, and most of them was as well here with a feeling of fresh air all the time here. Even when it's very hot. And people just say, well, she's checking everyone who is going upstairs, basically.
So they don't see her, it's just
No, just a feeling, a very cold hair sometimes. Or some says that there is a face behind them in the toilets, in the mirror.
I've had a couple of paranormal experiences in the ladies' toilets on the first floor. It's happened when I've run in there and not been thinking about it, and all of a sudden I feel like somebody's next to me. And my hairs go up and my heart starts beating. I don't actually go in there anymore. I use my bathrooms in my bedroom because I don't. And a couple of customers have said they've also felt the same thing. Some of the girls who have worked here have had the same sort of experiences where taps have gone on and off. Toilet rolls roll past the toilet while they're on it with the door open because they're too scared to close it.
They describe her as Mary as a Victorian lady dressed up quite in the Victorian style, and she more or less spent all her time in the staircase, which are on the same ages than the building, so 15th centuries. Let me show you now the second area, which has been considered as the second most haunted area of the Ostrich, which is in that room. It's our function room, dining room. As you can see with the timber and the wood panels and everything, it's apparently from the origin, so 500 years ago. And one part was very spooky, which funnily was last our Halloween parties where We took pictures, very odd, with spirits and everything. When I talk to you earlier about the candles, those are the candles all around the place where we have to check two times if they are blown off, basically because they will restart again.
So you blow the candle out,
Yes.
you go away, you come back, it's lit again.
It's likely it will be lit again.
And does that happen often?
Well, it happens me 2 times, but you even don't notice. You know, it's a part of the ghost thing. And with the other stuff, it apparently happens quite often.
We've had an experience upstairs in the function room one night when myself and Jodie were blowing the candles out. I left Jodie on the bar and I went back downstairs, come up, and the candles were lit again in the room. And I thought she'd relit them, but she said she hadn't.
A few times if the manager's been off and I've been in charge for the day, some odd things do happen, like we either have power cuts or the power trips out and things happen on the bar that I couldn't really deal with. And I'm not sure if that's possibly the ghosts showing that they're here or doing something in that way.
What would this room have been used for historically? Would it have been a meeting room?
No, it's been thought that it's the rooms, so basically where the previous landlord and Mr. Jarman used to welcome any other guest, so it was split in different rooms everywhere across the building.
So would one of those rooms have been the infamous room where Jarman did his evil deeds?
Not that one. He's further back in our rooms, which is in the corridor.
It can be quite daunting when you're by yourself, so I look up at night as well. So you do worry if you do see something. If I saw anything, I probably wouldn't come back to work. I'd be really scared.
So this is the famous room when everything happens.
But it's clearly not a bedroom anymore.
No, this is now a storeroom, as no one wants to stay anymore in this room.
But this would have been where the trapdoor and the bed and everything was.
Yeah. I think, in fact, you could have over there. So this is the trap. You could imagine that there is the trap over there with the bed oriented on that way, and with the trap open to the kitchen, where Jarman used to tip over all the bodies, and after buried in the river.
Sometimes when you're up there, it feels like there could be someone there with you. I do tend to run around if I'm up there working by myself and try to escape as soon as possible.
When I've gone in there thinking that I want to see whatever it was, it doesn't happen. It's only when I go in there not thinking about it, something would happen.
Well, let me tell you, don't ever think of making this into a bedroom for guests.
We will think about that. We will think. If I invite you, why not? We can have a spooky experiences. I think it could have some spooky experience still going on in this place.
Philippe, I have stayed in a lot of haunted bedrooms for this series, but let me tell you, if you make this into a bedroom, I'm not staying in it. I think it's such a horrible story. In fact, let's get out of here.
It's kind of very frightening. Sometimes my staff, when they live in upstairs, they won't go downstairs at any time overnight until there is the daylight, because there is some things that you can feel overnight, some cold areas, or well, the blow or the noise, and yeah, it's quite frightening sometimes.
Well, the Ostrich now has a really nice feel to it. It's incredible to think that it hides such an evil history. Out of all the stories we've heard that have produced ghosts, this one really has to be the nastiest. See you next time. Bye-bye.